it, and then the shutting the virus. And so that's why everyone might say, well, that's dumb that you plexiglass up in the locker room because they're tackling each other at practice. They're minimizing the physical contact as best they can. And then again, they're testing these players over and over and over. But they also don't want these players around each other, breathing on each other for extended amounts of time. They're trying to limit that as best as possible.
Jane,
so yeah, I mean, honestly, this whole thing is fascinating.
Jane, and I know you got another story and other stories you're working on. I appreciate you jumping on with us. So Dak Prescott, who people, it's like a lightning rod. Of course, Cowboys quarterbacks are always, it seems like that. He went and built a football field where he lives to as a commitment, and there are people sometimes that want to question whether he wants to be a part of the Cowboys or his commitment to being better or what. Is that right?
Cowboy Nation, you know how it is.
I know.
I even saw somebody bringing up, well, this just proves Dak's the guy. Tony Romo never built a football field in his backyard. I'm like, really? How about we move past the Tony Romo versus Dak debate? It's just so funny. And I've, having dealt with him since he was a fourth guy on the depth chart rookie, the guy has not changed. He never gets too high. He never gets too low. Everything he does it the right way. I love the fact that even his teammates say, Amari Cooper was asked, well, what's sort of been his demeanor since he didn't get the contract done? He wouldn't comment on the contract, nor would he comment on his demeanor. And his team is not only protective of Dak, but they are supportive of Dak. And I think that says a lot about him as a leader and the buy-in that he's been able to get. And I don't think we would be sitting here talking about his greed and his money if it wasn't a pandemic and all these people were losing their jobs. I mean, a lot of people just look at this number and they think, well, he's so greedy, he doesn't want to be a Cowboy. That's never been the case. He grew up in hot Louisiana. He's always wanted to be a Cowboy, but this is, when players are getting that contract, and mind you, he played for less than $5 million the last 5 years. I mean, you got all of that out of Dak. The first year, 13-3, and you're paying him a fourth-round rookie contract. This is his opportunity to set his market value. And he's got a very shrewd agent in Todd France, who just got Joey Bosa paid, that was looking for a top-of-the-market contract. And the Cowboys felt like they gave him top-of-the-market contract, but the two sides saw the years differently. In other words, when the league comes up for, gambling revenue, new TV contracts, et cetera, the cap's going to go up. And they wanted that number to either reflect that or for them to be able to go back to the negotiating table and 3 years versus the fourth year in a 5-year contract. So that's where things got, I would say, very contentious between the agent and the Cowboys, but it was never contentious between the Cowboys and Dak. So I think people need to be very careful as it relates to this. It's business, no different than any of us when we handle our contracts or our salary negotiations with our bosses. That's how I would characterize that. I think they both were playing chicken until the deadline, and it sort of blew up in all of their faces.
Jane, as always, you're great. Thank you so much. Appreciate all you do.
By the way, I don't know if it was like a full-blown road trip, Jane, or whatever, but those van pics you put out the other day, that looked like heaven to me. I absolutely love the West Coast, and that looked like an awesome, awesome time.
I wish I could say it. My sister sold her Jeep, bought a Sprinter van, and converted it with a bed, and right now it's got a pull-out desk. Her goal is to build a kitchen in there. But she's working remotely and very much the Austin gal that she is, living that granola lifestyle. She's already been to 4 states just with her and her 2 dogs. I mean, it sounds like bliss. Unfortunately, it's football season for me.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, I'll be doing it. But I just don't have the freedom right now. But, yes, I think we should all aspire for van life.
Yeah, we're glad there's no freedom. We want this football. We need it, and I hope it's there for your sake and all of us. Thank you, Jane. As always, Jane Slater from the NFL Network, all into what the Cowboys are doing. Also, she mentioned the Titans, the Saints, and much, much more, and how you're going to cover games. And, Paul, you go to a lot of games. I've gone to a handful, not nearly as many the last maybe decade on occasion, but
some guys go with other people's credentials. I mean,
yeah. Some people whine and get your credential, and you don't go, and they do, and then they take your job. But having said that, that could affect you going to games. I mean, there's nothing. What are you going to do? There's nothing there.
I think
you might get Sunday afternoons to sit around and relax.
I think the radio people will just get trimmed. Yeah. Because there's no reason for us. And I like.
Oh my gosh, what's Gilmer guy going to do?
I honestly wouldn't even push the envelope with them. I'll ask, but to me, it's
you need to ask.
Yeah, I'll ask
to be told no.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw any fit if we're told by Baylor like, hey, no post game locker room, or anything like that. I mean, whatever we get, it's gonna be one of those things where we're just gonna have to like what we get.
Yep.
And there's not gonna be too much arguing or anything to go along with that.
The biggest concern is if in fact they go to those type of that policy, how it might be easy to never go back to any kind of access.
Well,
don't think that won't happen.
I think the Cowboys will always have a large media presence, and they'll have more people than they credential more people than almost anybody in the NFL, because that's the Jones family way of doing it.
Well, they want the attention.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever change, but the access, that'll come from the Players Association. The Players Association, well, why do I have to do this?
If you're a player, would you want reporters in the locker room, given everything that's going on? I would not at all in any way.
Yeah.
So I would think that most will probably feel that way.
And I was really about to knock it off. I was about to go to bed. And I saw the email come through my phone. I went, damn. Now, what was your first thought? 254-339-1122. We'll come back with your responses on the text line, but also on the phone line, 254-339-1122. Your favorite thing about Jared Butler, and we'll go over some of the answers we have in the next segment. The favorite thing about Jared Butler, and then this one here, this is going to be one that usually we get a lot of, this is when we get a lot of response. The best fast food hamburger that can be ordered in a drive-through setting. There are some that you can't order in a drive-through setting. We'll come back with those answers as well. 254-339-1122, Sikkim 365 Radio. Pickup Outfitters, where you can dice up, spice up, and help put what you need on your pickup truck, SUV, or minivans. Right there at 220 Lake Air Drive. Jay Errett, the owner. Bumpers and grill guards, bump steps. You want to put something new on your truck that's not there, and, of course, they are the go-to when it comes to bed covers. Lay in and spray in bed liners and every imaginable bed cover you need that helps protect whatever you have in your bed, not only from the elements like rain or, in this day and age, the dust, the heat, and much, much more, but also protect from somebody being able to see what might be in your pickup bed by covering it up and taking that option away of somebody who might go, security, shelter from the elements, privacy, and extra storage space. Pickup Outfitters has every type of bed cover you want, from retractable, hard folding, one-piece lids, hard and soft roll-up, removable paint to match, professionally installed with Pickup Outfitters, and their lifetime installation guarantee and free warranty assistance. At 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco, Pickup Outfitters, createacommotion.com.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel & Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel & Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel & Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
It
takes time to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money, and you deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And Tom Albers, your Edward Jones financial advisor, can help. If your financial investments aren't putting forth the effort you desire, stop by today for a financial review. Tom Albers, 4301 Lakeshore Drive, 254-776-7605. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of health care while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of health care has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance, and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Waco's newest gym, Halo Athletic Center, 5725 Bagby Avenue, right behind Region 12 and across the highway from the Central Texas Marketplace, where motivation, inspiration, and hard work are the driving force. State-of-the-art equipment, indoor and outdoor track, locker rooms, showers, yoga and bar classes by Duality Yoga, bod pod potty composition analysis, and registered dietitians, all under one roof where we rise above. Come join the Halo Athletic Center and be a part of the change, your change.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
This is Sikkim 365 Radio. The Sikkim 365 Radio poll is brought to you by Pickup Outfitters, where everything purchased and installed comes with our famous lifetime installation guarantee and free warranty assistance. 220 Lake Air Drive or createacommotion.com.
I think this is our busiest day since the opening show, April 6th, as far as the text line. The 281 on, remember the interview we had earlier with Kenneth Davis, the great from Temple and TCU? I was stunned when I looked up, but he had 131 games he played in the NFL. I knew he played a long time. Bills, Packers. From the 281, in a by-district game at Kyle Field in 1980, I remember Kenneth Davis getting a pitch from Brett Stafford, going 80 for the touchdown. The extra point was blocked, but when Temple got the ball back again, same thing. This time Temple went for two, converted. You knew even though first quarter the ball game was over.
Must have been pretty good.
I mean,
I didn't get a chance to watch him, obviously, just age-wise, but no, I mean, special player. Obviously, I can only imagine being at Temple High School. You know, same guy who's sitting there sharing a backfield with Super Bowl era Bills teams and Thurman Thomas. I bet in high school he was pretty nasty.
Temple was Craig's first ever game. They won the state title in 1992. They had that team. In fact, I saw, because I was doing games for Lee High School in Tyler, and Temple was just, man, they looked like a college team as far as the offensive line. Plus, they were really good. I think Delaris Wilson might have been the running back. I believe that's who it was. But that was, they played a lot against Lee.
But you're going to have
to
change to saying something else.
Yeah.
Whenever they announce
Tyler Heritage or whatever.
Right.
From the 512, Smokey with the shade on the taking the job comment. It all worked out in the end. Love the show. We love you for listening. Thank you.
And it definitely worked out in the end, for sure.
Stafford, by the way, was only a sophomore on that team. Went to Belton for his last 2 years, and, of course, Temple had to hate that. Carl Campbell. Hey, guys, I know high school sports crazy right now, but I'm not sure if you know about this. Austin ISD holding a vote that will officially start their school in September, not August, which would push back 4 weeks online until October. And they've already applied for a 4-week extension. I know it's fluid, but their school year, that could affect Round Rock, Leander, Pflugerville, and others in Austin and Travis counties. And, of course, Midway has Round Rock on their schedule. I'm not sure if that's going to be a scrimmage or a game. There's a lot of that going on.
Well, I'll tell you what, with COVID, I said earlier, I haven't been keeping up with all the numbers and things because after a while they all just sort of melt together and I'm not even sure what I'm looking at anymore. And plus, I just don't think it's very mentally healthy, which then affects the rest of your health to sit there and dwell and stress and worry over every new report. I just don't think that does anybody any good. But, in being mindful, Jim Vertuno, who I do appreciate, kind of piggybacked on one of the quotes I sent out yesterday on the Baylor testing numbers and said that Texas hasn't done that in well over a month at this point since players have returned. But he just put out there on COVID the newest numbers for the state are in, and this will obviously have a huge effect on what kind of happens with high schools and school openings and things like that. 245 newly reported deaths, which is not good. He mentioned the hospitalizations, which are down by about 2,000 from a couple of weeks ago. But the concerning number, the one that everyone really, in my opinion, probably is the number to keep an eye on most as far as sort of us rolling out things and then trying to, maybe roll them back in some cases, is the positivity rate. And as of today, that is back up to 13.88%. And ideally it would be under 10%. But it's up to almost 14%. So he said that any further reopenings and things like that probably aren't going to happen until we get down about 4 more percentage points to where we were. So that obviously is something to just know sports-related wise with school openings and things like that.
Well, yeah, it's just a constant. You never know. Okay, 254-339-1122. That line is open. The text line also open as well. What's your favorite trait or what's the favorite thing you like about Jared Butler? Best fast food restaurant to get a best fast food hamburger drive-through.
Gotta be drive-through.
To go. And mine was, and I don't do a lot of drive-throughs anymore. I used to live through them. Mine would have been the double meat cheese with all the way mayo and mayo mustard all the way at Whataburger. Now, In-N-Out Burger was tempting to me when I first started having them out in Oxnard, but I haven't had an In-N-Out Burger in a long time.
I won't eat it in Texas. I don't know.
It's
California, that was something I had the bucket list. I got to get an In-N-Out Burger in California. We did that multiple times.
Well,
They're
there was
great.
some great late night stuff too.
Yeah, the fries are very below average, but no, In-N-Out's fine, but it's not like the end-all, be-all that is, just the greatest thing ever. So I went double meat at Whataburger as well, and not as many toppings as you, but that's the one that I went with.
Leon said Storm's Burgers.
Oh, that's pretty good. I've
never heard of Storm's.
Yeah, it's around Texas. There's one, I think the closest one to here might be in Lampasas. It's in smaller towns, or mostly Storms that you would see. I'm not In-N-Out's. To me, it's fine. It's good.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I think California people, because their options were In-N-Out or stuff that we're all used to for 50 years, like McDonald's or Burger King, or that are fine. It just they're not maybe people are just tired of it. I pick Whataburger when it comes to a drive-through burger. Everything's fresh. It's good. Everybody has different stuff.
Yeah,
that you like.
And the good news is there's a lot of options.
So we all went Whataburger, though, on the best burger you can get in a drive-thru.
I'd get a Dairy Queen on a cake, but I really can't remember the last time I actually went through. Now, I tell you what I was craving the other day, and I admit this, is the double R. I just said, you know what? I've been really good about it.
Hey, you can actually, they have a drive-thru.
I know.
So
Mickey Rogers, this is interesting. Mickey Rogers, who owns Fuddruckers in Waco on Valley Mills, I think the one in Killeen, and also there's others around the state, just sent me a text today. Your certificates are on the way.
All right.
Oh, sweet.
So we will have.
Change my answer is Fuddruckers.
And I want you guys to understand this. And this is a straight up. He's going to send us a bunch of free burgers. We used to do that all the time when it comes to trivia. We used to do that all the time when it comes to
high school pick'ems
and stuff like that, which will of course reinvigorate, or renew. he's going to send us a package of them. I mean, I'm talking bunch of them.
Sweet.
So for those of you, and I'm about to do this right now, and I do this on occasion, and I wish I could do it more. I'm gonna ask you. I still have some Chick-fil-A thanks to David Sikora, the one across from Baylor. Cottonwood Creek Golf Course certificates. I'm going to give you the opportunity here in a second to tell me what you want among what we have, and even the wings, pizza, and things. And it's like a $25 gift card from Mike Dent. That's one of the best sports bars anywhere. Not Texas, anywhere, with what he's done in Temple. Also, Leon, by the way, if you guys have a game down in Lampasas, they got that great quarterback in Ace Whitehead and a good team last year. Semifinals, Storms in Lampasas. This is from D. Carter 299. He's the one that told me about the sous vide, cooking meat in the sous vide. Butler, contagious smile, Jared Butler.
We're kind of bounced. So we're the Butler question now?
Yeah, no, I also brought that one up about what's your favorite part about Jared Butler. Drive-through hamburgers, hands down, Whataburger with bacon and jalapeno.
Yeah, we've got one from Ryan Rogers that says Freddy's double meat and cheese.
Is Freddy's a drive-through?
Yeah, they have a drive-through.
All right.
In North Carolina, there's a place. This is from Carl. It's called Cookout. I've heard of Cookout. I've never been to one though, but I've heard of that one. So
I need to go to Freddy's. I haven't been there in a really long time.
Is that one on Hewitt Drive?
Yeah. There's also a couple of them. I think there's one down by Baylor as well. I
think so.
Okay.
Yeah. There is. It's off 35 with all that construction. And
you know
whatnot.
what's weird is that with all the shutdown, and of course there's no media sessions, and I've been to Baylor like twice in the last 4 months. I'm missing all that for a change. Thank God, because it was at the nightmare level.
Well, my hope is that this goes on just long enough so when we all venture out again, everything on I-35 is done.
No, that's 10 years from now.
I know.
Like to wake up in the morning like you've been in a coma and just walk out to it. Yeah, that'd be great. By the way, you guys mentioned high school pick'em, and I just realized now that I'm just going to have to be third place.
No, because we're going to bring Ashley, Brian, Jason. We'll bring them all in.
So I don't know that they're all going to want to do high school pick'ems, but I'm sure some will.
We'll give them that option. Colt knows enough about high school football.
I'm sure Grayson will want to do it.
Grayson knows about, and whether or not the centrally we'll do a couple of statewide games. We always did.
Third place is my goal. Like that would be my overall goal. Like I'd have to tell like the media at the end of the year, like, listen, I'm happy with where we are.
And also, by the way, when we bring up Rosebud Lott, Brandon Hicks, we know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
We know his history. We're not going through the motions. This is something that we are committed to, and it was one of the main things I'll never forget when Ashley, Colt, and Brian were talking to us about the show. And I was like, man, I don't know. I honestly, just being honest with you, we want to cover the Cowboys. We want to do other things as well. And, of course, all the stories about many things America. But that's my blood. As much as I love covering college football and watching it, and they wanted that as much as we did. And even Brian the other day when I put up our schedule, and we had a couple of high school coaches yesterday. He goes, I love the high school coverage. That adds to a site that was mainly Baylor. It had a lot of high school coverage for recruiting. We're going to do that. And we're going to have all of them on.
Leon wants
and we're going to have a lot of them
wants
on.
To be part of the pick.
Leon, you could, hey, we'll do that. And
I don't need another person to lose to.
Fuddruckers is going to be the winner of the weekly Pick'em, high school football Pick'em. Will get a couple of certificates to Fuddruckers, whether it's the one in Killeen or the one that's on Valley Mills and in fact, even Bryan College Station and a couple of other locations as well. All right, now, Jared Butler. Paul, my favorite part about Jared Butler, other than the fact he's so talented, to me, his demeanor never seems to change. He has that same almost expression, whether he's killing you or he just turned it over twice in a row. You can't really tell his ups, it burns inside of his belly, but it just seemed like his demeanor, you can't tell what he's thinking.
You know what I love about him is just he is so ridiculously intelligent. And that's actually this Baylor team has a bunch of really smart guys in it. But for Jared, and I had the opportunity, helping King McClure produce his podcast, he did a really cool thing with Freddie Gillespie and Jared about what it's like to be a student athlete. And it was not really a lot of basketball stuff. It was more, this is what their life is stuff. And Jared and Freddie, I was just blown away by the level of things that you would never think of and the way that he was able to talk about it. I just love talking to him because he's a really smart guy. If he wasn't a basketball player, I would like talking to him.
Yeah, I said his personality just overall, and I think that falls in line with what you're saying as well. I just enjoy listening to the guy talk, enjoy seeing, his smile and just kind of the way he is around his teammates. And so it seems simple, but simple can be great. And I think just being a good person, or at least appearing that way, and being great with everybody that you come into contact with, and in some cases, especially for younger fans, inspiring them. He's a great, I think, role model for Baylor fans who are parents who say, hey, yeah, absolutely. Love that my kid roots for Jared Butler and wants to be like him, because what a fantastic young man. So, yeah, I just went with his personality.
All right. By the way, this Mavericks thing, back to him, my Butler thing was I can't
all
tell.
over the place.
Well, Mavericks had lost 49 consecutive games when they shot less than 40% from the field until today. 49 straight. Of course, you lose games when you shoot less than 40% from the field most of the time. I mentioned Rafael Nadal. He's out. Withdraws from the U.S. Open due to COVID concerns. Indianapolis Motor Speedway announces their race August 23rd. It will happen. No fans. That's like about 500,000 people inside that big track up in Indianapolis. In fact, when they had the Super Bowl in Indianapolis, I remember we went to the start-finish line. That's where the media party was.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was really, really cool. I just had two people at one time. Art Strickland, golf writer, he's going to join us Thursday from the PGA Championship in San Francisco at Harding Park. But Mack Rhoades, he'll be tomorrow. He'll be on. Big 12 athletic directors are meeting right now and will be for a little bit longer. Mack Rhoades will jump right on top of the show tomorrow at 3 o'clock and give us the latest. And that might give us another day to see what's happening, what they've discussed, not only today, but also the new scheduling and the possibility of what they're going to do with the opening game.
I'd be floored if they had it tomorrow, if they knew it by tomorrow. That would be some.
We've
really,
been able to get him to say things he didn't want to say before.
That'd be some really efficient meetings.
But no, I'm talking about, you don't think you can have the non-conference game set by tomorrow?
Maybe the non-conference, yeah.
That's what I was.
Because it's one school. Yeah, I was thinking of the whole thing, yeah.
But really, how hard is it to do the schedule? There's 9 games. Everybody's playing each other. And you can do it over 9 or 11, 12 weeks, whatever you want. But to me, that's almost like, if you're going to put it in a computer, let it spit it out.
If you're going to push it back a couple weeks anyway, and I mean, you're still going to go to the same place. You don't have to worry about non-conference games. Everybody plays a non-conference game the first week, and then you start the conference season. I think that's
my main focus tomorrow with Mack Rhoades, and he may not be able to answer it and probably can't, is who you open it up with, what non-conference game. Isn't that the only one that matters right now?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that's the
They're
only
playing
question
everybody
that
else.
we have.
Yeah.
Is who that's going to be and when that's going to be, and we know where it's going to be. It'll be at McLean Stadium, so that'll be nice. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing at this point. I mean, I don't think people are necessarily all that interested really in diving down in the testing numbers, or they like to hear it when it's positive, and it was another positive report this week. Even though there was a slight uptick, it was still really low numbers, and that's great. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the juicy nuggets that people want to hear about, yeah, who are we playing and when are we playing? And when do I need to prepare to maybe have a chance to go to McLean Stadium? Although that's probably unlikely early on for a game like that. We'll see.
Orion Stewart. The Dylan Jordan, he's the one that spoke out about Gary Patterson. And yeah, he's he's been hammered about it. You know where this is going. This isn't random.
Where's Ahmad?
Orion Stewart.
I know, I'm saying, where's Ahmad now?
Dylan Jordan. I only speak the truth. Hashtag BLM, Black Lives Matter. He does this. He did the Instagram, whatever. And, of course, that has had, that's out again. And Orion Stewart, that's the same dude that I threatened him after the game. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that well.
That was another one of those high school football, like.
That was Gary Patterson's crazy dude, where he hears something and he decides, and then that was also when he's like, Gary Patterson lives in Fort Worth. They can come to me.
Yeah.
And it was so bizarre. I wish we could do it. We need to do a timeline of like the Gary Patterson things that don't make any sense. Like, he wins a game by 40 points and then accuses a team of sending spies to practice because they ran his zone.
multiple times.
That story is 10 years old.
Yeah, so there's that one. That was the first one I remember.
No, but he's done that multiple times. Like, he's accused multiple teams of, like, they must have been spying or they knew our plays or whatever. I've seen him do that more than
You're
once.
right, he has.
Yeah.
And then the one about Orion Stewart threatened him after a big win for Baylor after the game. Was that 61-58? Or that was
that was in Fort Worth because we were down. We were in the.
Oh, that was.
We were in the little chasm, whatever they call it.
Now he had.
Listen,
because Patterson was jawing with fans.
Yeah, and that was a bad look. The Ahmad thing. That's really up to Baylor football operations or whatever should have handled that better. But so should the stadium people. Now they got to be careful about putting their hands on Ahmad or anyone like that because that you got to be careful there. But just crazy. Okay, it's 4:53. Paul Catalina, David Smoke, and
just talk for 2 more minutes, and then
and also Craig Smoke as well. Leon wants to be on the pick, and we've done that. Carl,
you got the rest of the mailbag.
Oh, that's right. We got to do that.
Yeah, this is what we started off with.
Okay,
and then we did like
Jared
10
Butler.
other things.
Which one I have not gotten?
We did the drive-through. We did Jared Butler, even though only Paul and I gave our answers there, I think.
And mine was about his fate. You can't
that's
tell.
Right. So all the other ones, I don't think
he
we
would
even
be tough
touched.
to break if he did something wrong and they tried to grill him.
Well, that's why he's got that mental makeup to be great.
I could not imagine Jared Butler doing anything wrong. To me, he's the one.
Knock on wood, Paul.
That if the teacher, but like to me, he's got that kind of personality that if the teacher said, "Okay, everybody can take one cookie," and he snuck a second cookie, he'd be like, "I took another cookie."
Here's one, and I said, and I think I was the only one that might have brought this up, but if I could take only one road trip with men's basketball or football this season, I'd pick. Brian Etheridge said at Iowa State, the video, the beat downs, T-Rex would be dishing out in the stands. It'd be nice to find the Dodge Neon and flatten the tires. Ooh. Grayson mentioned going the Norman fun trip. He did mention what I did, the Empire Classic at Madison Square Garden, which we were there when they lost to South Carolina, but so much more. And because Villanova, NC State, Michigan, and Baylor men's basketball. Ashley said go to Kansas for men's basketball.
That's the one I'd want to do this year.
That's the one that I picked.
Jason King said Vegas to watch the Bears in Oregon in both men's and women's basketball.
That'd be a good one.
Craig, you mentioned Lawrence, Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse. I mentioned I've never been to Allen Fieldhouse. That would be one, but the other one would go back to New York City because it's such a cool place for short little stints. And then Madison Square Garden has been renovated, and that is a monstrous facility. I love the pictures of the fights, the boxing.
Yeah, I need to actually change mine because I wasn't taking into account their preseason tournaments and all that. When I went to look on the schedule, they don't have the schedule up for next year. So I just didn't feel like going and searching out everything. But hearing that, going to MSG would, that would still be tough. Because going to Lawrence for a game this year with them and Baylor, just on paper, it looks like it's going to be fantastic. But I've never been to MSG. I've seen it from afar. I've only been to New York a couple of times, and I would absolutely love to have the MSG experience.
Our best guess that we had when we were at MSG was a guy who worked there.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, it was just we found a guy who worked there.
A young kid that worked there. He was kind of like in maintenance.
New Yorker, just loved. Yeah.
Was just the nicest guy ever. Just such that was so much fun.
Yeah.
But hey, if you follow around Baylor men's basketball, you got a lot of great options this year.
Yeah, and you wonder
Vegas,
about how
New
that's
York.
scheduled, because I went online, I said, okay, wait a minute, let me make sure I'm not missing games. And the only reason I knew about the Empire Classic, of course it had been, is that there's like a ticket type business that said, hey, by the way, you want to go to watch these games. We don't know about what's going to happen with the track.
Yeah.
We don't know. We just don't. We just don't know. So, all right. I think we got to a lot of the stories that we hadn't gotten to yet at all. Tomorrow, Dr. Mark Addix, orthopedic surgeon, one of the best in the business. He's out in Phoenix. He just got back from a vacation, actually in Scottsdale, which would be a great place to be. He is, of course, he practices in Houston, former All-American offensive lineman, played in the NFL. Mark Addix will join us tomorrow. Dr. Addix will join us tomorrow early on in the show at around 3:15 or 3:30. He'll be one of our guests tomorrow. And we open up tomorrow's show with Mack Rhoades right off the top at 3. This is Sikkim 365 Radio. Pioneer Steel and Pipe. Heavy duty duty, like big offensive and defensive linemen. Heavy duty stuff. Steel, metal. Pioneer Steel and Pipe in business for 77 years. Now think about that. We have businesses, of course, in this today in today's economy because of all the crazy, all the things that are going on that have hurt businesses, and some things that it's hard. Things happen. You have things that happen around the world. You have things that happen with the economy. You have things that happen because of just, change in who we are. And Pioneer Steel and Pipe since 1943 just keeps on going. Offering metal buildings and components, metal roofing, structural pipe 1/2 to 24-inch in diameter, structural steel, beams, channel iron, angle iron, square tubing, flat iron, a large inventory. And if they somehow don't have a stock, anything in stock that you need, they'll find it. Quality materials, high quality materials, metal buildings. Their bids are structurally sound. They want to make sure that when others bid on what you want, that there's no compromise in the structural integrity. They bid the right way, and they have been, and that's why they've been in business for nearly 80 years. Fastest turnaround time in the business on metal building orders. Large pipe inventory. You want a fence or an entryway? Yes, they do it. Pioneer Steel and Pipe open in both Waco and Bryan, open on Saturday mornings if you need to get there, on the weekend from 8 until noon. I tell you what, and they're growing. And they've got great news coming as well. And how do you not? 77 years in the business. PioneerBoys.com.
It's summer. Time to go somewhere in a new Jeep from Allen Samuels. It's our huge summer clearance event featuring 0% for 72 and no payments for 90 days on our hottest models. Pick a new 2020 Jeep Cherokee Latitude with $5,750 in total values, or 0% for 72 and no payments for 90 days. Or the fun 2020 Jeep Renegade with up to $7,000 in total values, or 0% for 72. Adios 2020s from Allen Samuels.
It's the heat of the summer, but the real heat is what you're cooking on the grill, smoker, or in the oven. So Waco Custom Marketplace can be your go-to playmaker for summertime grilling. You can't go eat anywhere else? Be your own chef with custom ordered and cut ribeyes, sirloins, fillets, New York strips with a focus on high-quality beef at a competitive price. Waco Custom Marketplace also has fresh deli cuts with sliced turkey, ham, pepperoni, or corned beef. Waco Custom Marketplace, also your home for the freshest seafood in town. Salmon, shrimp, mahi-mahi. Great priced chicken products, whole birds, tenders, chicken breast, and wings. Waco Custom Marketplace with smoked items unique to Waco. House-made bacon, summer sausage, boudin, hot links, and German sausage. Every seasoning for every occasion, grilling, baking, or frying. Your hometown grocery store with canned goods, pasta, fresh baked bread, buns, chips, sauce, condiments to pickles, charcoal and lighter fluid, cold beer and wine, best kolaches in Waco, mouth-watering cinnamon rolls, and here for the community every single day, helping you avoid the long lines in crowded stores, serving quality products to the Waco community. Go online for the weekly value boxes. Family owned and operated Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, French oak, rye, and brimstone. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive at 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trusted doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Welcome back to Sikkim 365 Radio. It's time for our weekly segment with David Hellman of DallasCowboys.com.
Staff, they needed him. Here is Pollard all the way in for 6.
The 5 o'clock hour is brought to you by Edward Jones and financial advisor Cam Heathcott. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Here's David Smoke, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoke.
All right, here we go. This 5 o'clock hour. Busiest day we've had on the text line, I can't remember. 254-339-1122. If you're a Cowboys fan, you have a question for David Hellman or any of our guests that we have on, then you could fire away on that. We'll send it off and ask the question on the air. David Hellman now joins us, DallasCowboys.com. So, David, the Cowboys and teams are starting to kind of get, there's things to talk about. We asked this earlier to Jane Slater. What's it like to actually have football to kind of cover a little bit, even though it's not quite there yet? What's it like to have something there, even if it's different how you cover it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it takes the stress out of doing the job, I guess, just because, there's something to talk about. It's not really, it's not honest to God football. Nobody's practicing yet, but players are talking, offering their perspective on how they're dealing with COVID and what they expect for the season. So, y'all are probably in a similar boat. We rely on having things to talk and write about. So at the very least, at least there's new information coming out of the Cowboys facility that we can kind of react to. It takes away the stress that we were feeling in June and July about having to, basically manufacture content out of nothing.
So the Cowboys did have an opt-out this week, and their biggest one so far in Jameis Olawale, but we really didn't know what the fullback was going to be in this new offense, did we, David?
Yeah, Jameis Olawale's almost been like a mirage for the last 2 years. You go back to his Raiders career, and he's got some really impressive athleticism. He scored an 80-yard touchdown when he was with the Raiders, and they used him as a receiver and a runner. And for 2 years, we heard promise that was going to happen. He had a really big role in the preseason and the OTAs last year, and then it just kind of evaporated in front of our eyes during the season. Very similar in 2018. I think, really the only play anybody remembers him for is dropping a touchdown pass against the Colts, I believe. So we hadn't really seen it. I was really holding out hope. We know Mike McCarthy likes to use fullbacks. John Kuhn was a big part of his offenses in Green Bay. So I was excited to see if maybe he would have a big role, but at the same time, you're right. We haven't seen a ton out of him, so not the biggest opt-out as far as opt-outs go. It is a little bit disappointing, though.
So what did you get out of Amari Cooper, who's always very intriguing and a lot of times a great listen? Anything in particular that kind of popped out of many things that he said today?
I love talking to Amari. He's a unique interview among NFL players. I guess the one thing that's interesting is, Amari was talking about, the Cowboys offense. He basically said, the plays and the concept are going to be really similar. It's the verbiage that might be a little bit different. And that's, on one hand, that's to be expected because you've got a new coach, an offensive coach in Mike McCarthy, who's going to want to put his imprint on things. But at the same time, it was Mike McCarthy that said in January that he kind of wanted to adapt to what Kellen Moore had in place. I kind of had my suspicions that was, a little too simple to be completely true, and that kind of sounds like the case here. Obviously, I don't know exactly what the Cowboys playbook looks like, but it was always a pretty good guess that, a 30-year coaching veteran like McCarthy was going to come in and tweak a few things.
David, now that the guys are coming in and we're starting to see things flow, what's your kind of big thing that you're following once the roster is kind of set at 80?
Well, I'm just excited. We at DallasCowboys.com, we put out a really cool exclusive look at McCarthy's first team meeting with the veterans on Sunday. And McCarthy kind of gave us the timeline. I mean, we all know that there's a ramp-up period and, nobody in the league is doing honest-to-God football right now. But McCarthy told his vets that, the on-field padded stuff starts on the 13th, I believe. So that's kind of the new date on my calendar. I've got that circled, and, hopefully when that date rolls around, we'll be able to roll up to the facility and actually – tell people what we see. Because right now it's a little bit of a weird in-between where it's technically training camp, but not a lot is really happening other than meetings and, making sure people don't have COVID. So what's that? I guess that's about 9 days from now, give or take. So that's kind of the date that I have circled for when things might really start popping.
What did Amari say about CeeDee Lamb in particular? I saw some of the quotes. I saw your timeline as well. Here's your thoughts about what he said about CeeDee.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, that's a good point, is that Amari really not shying away from the expectations that drafting CeeDee Lamb puts on this offense. He said he thinks the expectation is to have 3 1,000-yard receivers. Obviously, he and Michael Gallup did that last year, and Randall Cobb was close. So the expectation is that CeeDee Lamb can improve on that performance, which, I'm right there with him. I think that's totally possible. But, man, that would be a heck of an accomplishment considering I think only 5 teams in NFL history have pulled that off. So, like I said, setting the bar high. But, there's the type of expectations you get when you draft a guy like CeeDee Lamb.
Nothing? That's it?
Yeah.
What is Western Sizzler Day? What in the world's this all about?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame because there's regional biases come into all this stuff. Like Sizzler, it's kind of how you can't get Waffle House outside of the Southeast. Well, Sizzler is it's a Western, very casual steakhouse chain where you can go and you get like a ribeye and a salad bar and maybe a side salad for like $15. All you can eat salad bar. The steaks are great. They serve cheese toast complimentary. It's a wonderful place. And it was kind of our staff tradition that on the first off day of camp every year, we would all go and just gorge ourselves at Sizzler. So that's an unfortunate side effect of not going to California this year. Is I don't think there's a Sizzler anywhere within 1,000 miles of here. So maybe better luck next year. Unfortunately,
well, I've been to those before. That used to. Yeah, I've been to those. Those are good. Yeah.
There's 2 types of people in the world, in my opinion, and I always say this about Waffle House. It's like if you turn your nose up at Waffle House and you think it's dirty and grody, you're not my people. I'm all about anywhere where I can get a full 2,000 calorie meal for $12. That's my kind of place, and Sizzler is definitely that kind of place.
Hey, anybody who turned their nose up at Waffle House has never been hungry at 3:30 a.m.
Exactly. Or, and you're absolutely right, like drunk munchies forever, but I'll go to Waffle House at 8:30 a.m., 12 p.m., I don't care. It's wonderful 24 hours a day, and that's great because it's open 24 hours a day.
I think Tiger liked Waffle House, too, didn't he? Or was that Perkins? That was Perkins. Okay. It's Perkins, yeah.
Perkins. It's like a fancier-looking, same kind of place.
David, thank you very much. David Hellman, DallasCowboys.com with us. With Amari Cooper's access.
Anthony Bourdain, actually, in one of his episodes, rest in peace, went with David Cho to Sizzler. It's apparently a kind of a common tradition in L.A., Koreatown, I guess in Korean families, because you get a lot of food for little price. And so I guess Sizzler is really, really big in the Korean Los Angeles community. So he actually took Bourdain there on one of the Parts Unknown episodes. And you think about all the great places this guy has gone, all the hidden gems, and he's sitting there at Sizzler in Los Angeles. eating, buffet or whatever. I guess they probably had steaks, but yeah, I remember that pretty vividly. And the 1,000-yard receiver thing, the trios, 1980 Chargers, Kellen Winslow, John Jefferson, and Charlie Joyner. In 89, the Fun Bunch, Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, and Gary Clark of Washington all had over 1,000 yards. 95 Falcons, Eric Metcalf, Terrence Mathis, and Bert Emanuel. In 04, the Colts with Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, and Brandon Stokely. And then the last team to have three 1,000-yard wide receivers was in 08, the Cardinals, Fitzgerald, Bolden, and Steve Breston, who had 1,006 yards.
Steve
Breston. He got 6 yards over the limit to be able to make them the 5th team in NFL history to ever accomplish that feat.
David Hellman, by the way, on Amari Cooper, why he passed up more money or offers to remain in Dallas. The quote from Amari, I just like everything about being a Dallas Cowboy, the culture we've created here, the atmosphere, both in the building, outside the building, being the city of Dallas, surrounding areas. And I guess that would be the same reason why I was willing to take less money to stay here. That, coupled with the fact that I had the privilege of being able to play on a different team, I understand that every culture isn't the same, every city isn't the same, every team isn't the same. Me being able to see that while being on another team and having the opportunity to be on a team that I really love, I wouldn't trade that for a little bit more. You really wonder if the agents won't give them, but if everybody just kind of passed that out on draft day, and then when you sign the contract, there's nothing wrong taking less, or at least you're still going to, like, if you're a free agent, you're still going to get more if you stay than the headaches of sometimes getting a lot more and the money that puts pressure on you when you go somewhere else.
Yeah, if you go chasing the money, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to find happiness. You may not like the town that you live in, and you figure out that, hey, this was a fun vacation spot, but not so much a fun place to live year-round. There's a lot of other factors that go into it, but, a lot of guys chase the payday, and I don't blame them for that. If I had, a couple of contracts in front of me and one was significantly larger than the other and it's worth millions of dollars, I'm probably going to take that one. But for these guys where it's kind of the norm, you got to be smart about your choices, and money doesn't always mean that you're making the best choice, as Amari Cooper is an example of. He clearly was not all the way happy with the Raiders, and there was a reason for him to be out of there, and now he's happy, so good for him.
Yeah, I agree. 514 Sikkim 365 Radio. Back to the text line, 254-339-1122, brought to you by Riverbend Liquor and Wine.
Richard Carr, Buick GMC Cadillac. People you can count on. Employee pricing for everyone at Richard Carr lapsed. It's month of July. Heard about it almost daily on this show, but they had that going. They still have great offers, great deals going on, and they have you in mind as well. Right now, you check out the 2020 Acadias or Yukons. You can save over $6,000 on Terrains as well, $7,000 on the Acadias or the Yukons. Right now, you can get a Buick Encore for only $19,900. That's a savings of $6,000 on a 2020 Encore. It's got quiet ride, roomy interior, all the latest technology. We've also got the Cadillac XT4, XT5, or the 7-passenger Cadillac XT6. Right now, an XT4, only $35,900 at Richard Carr Cadillac. Those are just some of the deals they have, but there's a lot more all over the lot. All you got to do is stop on by and check out their daily disinfected showroom. Or, of course, they can bring the test drive to your home. But either way, you get great prices, free oil changes with a new purchase, and in-town priority warranty service every time you buy a vehicle at Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac, because once again, they are the people that you can count on, a local family dealer run by Baylor alumni. They just want the chance to earn your business. So stop on by, or again, they can bring the test drive to your home, because your comfort and safety is Richard Carr's first priority. Find them online at richardcarr.com or Highway 6 at the Imperial exit.
Do you love Friday Night Lights? Would you like to have a bigger role than just watching the action to ensure the games are played fairly and safely? The Waco football chapter of the Texas Association of Sports Officials, or TASO, can make that happen. The 2020 Texas high school football season is right around the corner, and we need you to be a part of it. There's a shortage of officials across the state in all sports, and you can help. If you love the game and want to be a part of the solution, you can help our local student athletes continue to participate in games they love. Never officiated before? Don't worry. Waco Football Chapter can help and prepare you to make the right call. And right now, Introduction to Football Officiating class is accepting registrations. Make your first grade call today by looking us up and contact
contacting us on Facebook at Waco Football Chapter or at our website, wacofootballchapter.com. Find out more about the Waco Football Chapter of the Texas Association of Sports Officials, or TASO. Go to wacofootballchapter.com.
Texas board-certified personal injury trial lawyer and Baylor alum David Willis and Baylor alum Parker Willis are ready to help if you or a loved one has been wrongfully injured in an auto accident, SUV rollover, industrial accident, 18-wheeler crash, or were seriously injured by a defective product or recall drug. Call them for a confidential and free case consultation at 1-800-GOT-HURT or visit them at texastriallawyer.com. Principal office located in Houston, Texas.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction with a team of 24 experienced agents who are excited about serving you. Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jeweler, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
What are you supposed to do when you pull up behind a truck that doesn't even have a hitch? I mean, it's like looking at plumber's crack. Do you cover your kids' eyes, look away, and switch radio stations? Hi, Jay here from Pickup Outfitters, asking for your help to end this embarrassing form of truck nudity. If you have a truck, at some point you need to pull something. It could be a trailer to haul stuff off to the dump, maybe a jet ski, a boat, an RV, a horse trailer, even just a bike rack. The point is, put a hitch on your truck's backside. And at Pickup Outfitters, we actually install more hitches than anything else. Whether it's a receiver hitch, a gooseneck, or a fifth wheel, we'll cover your aspirations to not drive a nude truck. And all hitches are covered by the Pickup Outfitters lifetime installation guarantee. So cover your rear end with a new hitch from Pickup Outfitters on Lake Air Drive in Waco, where we're fighting to end truck nudity in Central Texas. Check them out on our website at createacommotion.com/hitches.
This is Sikkim 365 Radio. The Sikkim 365 Radio app is sponsored by Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Waco. Your friend in the car business at Loop 340 and east of 84. Come by. Let's be friends.
Here we go, this 5 o'clock hour. Well, John McClain will join us at the bottom of the hour. Tomorrow, Mack Rhoades, Dr. Addicts, among others. We'll have John Machota from theathletic.com and the Cowboys as well. This deal in Lebanon, you know, this day and age, I mean, I don't know. That's a monstrous explosion. It's a worldwide story. Today was the anniversary, is that right, of Hiroshima?
Yes. Yeah, August 4th. Yeah.
I see some people trying to attach that as though they're connected.
No, I just happened to bring that up.
I know. There's just a lot of conspiracists on Twitter, social media especially. I think Chris Palmer might be the goofiest sports writer in America.
Who?
That guy, this Chris Palmer guy, he used to work for ESPN. I've never seen somebody like put out as many dumb tweets as this guy has over time. The best was, well, his tweet from today is deleted, but he's had multiple instances over the years of having tweets so dumb that they then have to be deleted after they've been mocked incessantly. And so, like, today he put out that it was an atomic bomb that hit Lebanon, and he was like, for sure, like it's an atomic bomb. Never mind the fact that less than a mile away somebody's recording the entire thing on their cell phone. It was a massive explosion, but I guess he thinks that only nuclear explosions have mushroom clouds, when in reality, most explosions have mushroom clouds.
Somebody did catch it. They caught it.
Well, yeah, because it was stupid.
Yeah.
It was dumb, and this dude does this all the time. Back when the protests were first starting, he was also the guy that put out, protest, riot, do it. Like, he was encouraging like a you know what? And all of a sudden, when the protests started to get towards Beverly Hills, dude completely flipped, started demanding cops come and corral the protesters. It's like all of a sudden they get to your gated community. And so he got the name NIMBY, which a lot of people started calling him, which was not in my backyard. So it's cool when it's elsewhere, but not in my backyard.
On May 31st or May 28th, burn that blank down, burn it all down. There's a building that's engulfed.
Burn it down. A day later.
Like a day or two later. They just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community, and they tried to climb the gates. They had to beat them back. They destroyed a Starbucks. Now they're in front of my building. Get these animals blank or TF out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you live.
That's one example from this guy. 2 days. He went from burn this mother down to all of a sudden they're in his neighborhood, and he's like, someone call the police. What a clown.
It's very easy to be an activist from your house.
Yes, and that's what most are.
Yeah, it's very easy to be like, I don't like this.
There's a response from 5 years ago. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
At Chris Palmer. It means a lot coming from a dude who got fired for being a dumbass.
Yeah, like this dude's got the history of just like thing after thing of dumb things that he's tweeted. I don't even know who he's employed by anymore. Looks like... Oh, he's got a Lamar Odom book coming out. Yeah. So he's not even, it doesn't look like he's employed anywhere. Not that that makes him worthwhile or not, but just like, you understand why he's not.
The
because
mushroom
of all
cloud,
these things.
Yeah, the mushroom cloud, there's a response from Narang Vipin. I study nuclear weapons. It is not an atomic bomb.
Well, I mean,
there would not be cell phone videos, people.
There wouldn't be. Yeah, everyone would be
there
gone.
There would be no electricity.
We wouldn't be hanging around surveying the footage with all that radiation. Moron. Like, this dude is such an idiot. But he said, yeah, there is no question that the Beirut explosion was an atomic bomb. And he has since deleted that. So you've got the NIMBY thing with burn it all down, and then all of a sudden they show up in his ritzy neighborhood, and all of a sudden he wants the cops called. Wonder how many people have done that song and dance over the last couple months. Had the Kevin Durant interaction. Had the thing today that he's also like, this dude is just, I don't know, man. He is.
And we're doing what I did yesterday about trying to give people who respond to John Isaac.
He deserves to be made fun of.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a bully, but like this guy, just time after time, he deserves to be ridiculed.
Do you think, honestly, right now, if there was a nuclear explosion, which would be the first time since Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the first time that we had a nuclear bomb go off, that we, like, anything in this country would be, anything in the world would be open right now. Everybody was shut down.
Doing a show?
No.
I don't think so.
Bill Neely, NBC, about an hour ago, Lebanese prime minister says that Beirut explosions caused by an estimated 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate left unsecured for 6 years in a warehouse. He vows to punish officials.
That's all that it is, and if that's all that it is, it's still a huge tragedy.
Why would anyone be okay? Because there was smoke coming out of the building, right? I was wondering why was anyone all of a sudden just shooting video of that building?
Yeah, I think it's because of smoke, but and there was a lot of smoke, but the time that it actually did finally blow up, and man, it is like, it's frightening how is, if you've never seen a video like that before, but yeah, I mean, there's some conspiracy theories out there, you know, obviously when you're talking about this part of the world especially, and bombs, like there's automatically the thought of terrorism and factions that are fighting or whatever. So, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that, no pun intended, are going to let the dust settle and see if there isn't something to this. But as of now, it doesn't appear so. Just seems like really bad negligence on the part of whoever was in charge of whatever they were supposed to be in charge of. I mean, to allow this to happen. So hopefully that's what it is. That's a really dumb mistake, but a mistake nonetheless, and far better than anything nefarious that could have perhaps caused this.
Well, you remember what happened in West?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was, well, that ended up being a little bit. That ended up being someone who was.
Yeah, it was a terroristic act.
Yeah. So locally today, Andrew Billings opts out for the 2020 season. We'll hear from him hopefully very soon. Also, Mack Rhoades tomorrow. Much more to come, but coming up, Hall of Fame writer John McClain on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie K. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Summertime means vacation time, and when you hit the road, do it in the vehicle of summer, Jeep. At Allen Samuels, it's our huge summer clearance event. It's on. Get employee pricing on brand new 2020 Jeep Gladiator Sport Editions, plus an additional $1,500 in retail bonus cash. And ask about 0% and no payments for 90 days on other Jeep models. It's time to say goodbye. Adios, 2020. buddies from Allen Samuels.
Ask for details. All offers with approved credit.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at Ideal MRI, 833 Ideal MRI.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis